The summer was extraordinary. It was a season of rebirth. Another awakening took place, that the human spirit is more powerful than any drug, and that is what needs to be nourished. These are the things that matter. The simplest things.
The rolling hills seem to do something for you. It seems they're meant to be looked on by you. People that live alive, love alive, and everything.
You are now tuned in to the Hunger for More.
Now tuned in to none other than
The Hunger for More.
The Hunger
For More.
with B. Wilkes.
Yo.
He's in. Yo, what's good?
And Josh.
This is
The Hunger for More.
It's bigger than hip hop. We done with Hip Hop 50? We done?
Complex killed it, bro. Yeah,
Boy.
man. Teeth our shit.
Try to take our shit, try to take some black creatives and give a watered down version to the people. It's all good. Hunger for More, episode 108, essential season. I know you somewhere, the weather's changing. And so we wanted to really talk about that, both words. But more importantly, this is our first season, and we had a midway point on this journey, this Hunger for More journey as we continue to climb. And it feels like the perfect time to just be able to bring in somebody that I feel can speak to journey, can speak to climb, can speak to new heights, can speak to, being able to go along some of the craziest terrain and come out on the other side at the top of the peak like, what? And that is our brother, activist, athlete, what's another A word? Author.
Yeah.
What's another A word? Number one on Amazon. What?
That's right.
Let's go to the B word, the book, The Yards Between Us. I'm so proud of my brother, man. He has done so much with his gifts, and he's done it all while stepping in purpose. And this is none other than R.K. Russell, our brother, our friend. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you having me. That's hell of an intro.
Stop. So this is your first time meeting Tyler and Jess, but in a weird way, we're all connected, right? So I got to tell an origin story. Me and Russ met in a crazy way, but a beautiful way. I was working on a documentary that was on ESPN, Finding Free. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out because it was Emmy nominated. It was Webby Award winning. It was Telly Award winning. New York Film TV Award winning. So all them awards winning. If you're a winner, check it out. But it was my first week at ESPN, and I didn't even have a corporate card. But I was like, I got to give everything I got to this project. And when I was doing research on you, bro, obviously you are a football player, and that seems like a unifying bond. But I wanted to go deeper, and this had heart, and I wanted to really tap into my heart. And I was like, reading your poems, reading about you, Underdog, was something that I said I could vibe with that. And coming from SoCal, I wasn't number one on everybody's top 25 rankings. When I wanted to pursue a scholarship, people were like, you? But in other instances in my life, Underdog was a theme that I said, you know what? Regardless of this, that, and this is what ties me and him together. And I walked on set, the set that I paid for because I didn't have a corporate card. And these are just how things come together. It was a beautiful set because it had like so much grain and texture, and it was 5 different wallpapers. And so you look at it and you could see something different through many sets of eyes. But on the other side of the camera was hella crosses. It was like called the Jesus set or something like that. And it was all these crosses. And I'm like, damn, I feel so sorry. My boy's gonna have to stare at this. And I'm gonna be like, now pour out your heart. But he walked in, and we didn't talk about clothing. We didn't talk about attire. He walked in, I had a shirt on in the back that said Dreamer. He walked in a red shirt that said Revolutionary. And I said, we got something crazy. We got something crazy. But for that Finding Free doc, my boy Tyler, T, yo, I need you on this one, bro. I need you to come and just knock out that graphic look. I want a title where it has like the spectrum of like, the LGBTQIA flag, but I want it to like kind of be mirroring and coming off and reflecting. He said, I got you. I said, yo, I need a picture template. I want it to be like, and he like, got it. And all of these things help to make this story. So that's how you connected to Tyler. And this one, it might be too much for you, but how you connected to my boy Just, at least starting this show, I'm sure there'll be other ways that we connected after the show. We had went to this restaurant, Q. Russ had came, he's like, yo, me and Corey coming out. I said, stop, got it. I'm gonna get this reservation. Put it out like 2 weeks in advance, locked it in. I'm 6'3", Russ 6'5", 6'6". I said, okay, we need a booth. I asked for a booth if it's just me, like, so I'm like, all right, we need a booth. So me, Michelle, we go up to the spot, Q. I love this spot. I didn't eat. Like, I was like, yo, because I'm about to tear this stuff down. We get there, I'm like, okay, cool, we ready. And they say, oh, your table's not ready. I said, what you mean? The reservation is said, well, just wait. We wait like 15, 20 more minutes. And anyway, they're like, okay, we're ready. We're gonna seat you in the little lounge area. I said, lounge? I put booth on the joint. Now, I put booth in the special instructions. We're gonna put this in a vote, and I wanna hear what y'all got to say. I could have put sit us in the kitchen, but if on special instructions, I said, put us in the booth. Like, you gotta read the special instructions. Anyway, we leave, yada, yada. We have to walk out, turn into a little thing. 2 weeks later, I'm like, Just, I wanna take you to the spot, Q. It was for my birthday and all that, and we wanted to celebrate. And so me and Just go to Q. Perfect, it's fire. Just gets to experience Q. Russ ain't experienced Q. I think it'll be dope. Next time we come to New York, all three of us go experience Q. But it's just a funny way that all of us connect.
That was a PG version. It got rowdy in Q that night.
It was, yeah. We might not have this episode, low key. If Russ wasn't there, I might have been somewhere else.
Underscore the B didn't eat aspect. I got a feeling those two things are correlated. But anyway, B didn't eat. I can just visualize it. That's crazy,
bro.
And Russ, this is also another connection because you speak about being a black man at the Soho Grand Hotel. And I love that. We'll get into that later. Being a black man. Tyler told us about it when he was in San Francisco, his experience. But the point is, here's me and B. I was like, those seats are open over there to me. And I personally feel B left us out of it.
I'm like,
the dude, well, now
I'm hungry.
Yo, but Russ, you'll love this. Yo, Russ, you'll love this because the same dude that you guys dealt with, Russ, is the same dude I asked for the seat. Yeah. And he saw Brian, and Brian was like, yo, Jay, that's the dude. I was like, okay, bet. So I did the wave over. I was like, yo, my man. So I did the whole thing, my gentleman act, yada, yada, yada. Can we sit over there? He walked away. I saw him in the corner whispering, talking to whoever it was. He came back.
I'm over here.
Yeah, he was like, yo, Josh. And he was like, yo, I don't know if we could buy, but I'm sorry. Big Bob. We had a really good seat anyway. But I was like, yo, I just want to make it clear, like, not only I'm going to ask you again, I'm going to be right here.
Walking in space as black men, it's a mix of how did you get here? Are you supposed to be here? You know, it's validating your existence or your right to be there. Then they do, you know, in their mind, allow you to be in the space. In their mind, nobody allows me to be anywhere that I choose to be. But then it's like the feeling of, okay, well, be grateful then with this. Okay, well, you're here. I let you in. You should be thankful about that. And that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, when we walk into a spot, it's like I could be looking up at the menu like, what do I want? And they looking at me like, the Wi-Fi's not free, sir. If you want a water, you gotta look. Damn.
Yeah. Give me a second.
It's like, you know, walk in with a chain, with your wallet on the chain, like I got money.
Yeah.
And you know, it's crazy.
Not too many chains. Not too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you know, and that's a whole nother issue.
It's crazy, but that's why we're here. That's what Essential Season is about. As the weather changes, as we, continue to progress through the calendar year. On some sides of the country, the leaves are falling off. On other sides of the country, it's still 75 and sunny. But I feel like a natural progression of us in life is to be able to change with the seasons, understand, appreciate the seasons, and at the end of it all, no matter what season you're in, understand the essentials that make you you. Like there's certain things, core values, basic characteristics of us all that we always got to stay tapped into. And Essential Seasons is about that. It's about staying true to the essential things that make you you. With that being said, Russ, man, let the people know who you are, bro.
Who I am. I mean, at heart, R.K. Russell's pinned on all my work, but it's really, for me, everything I do is about storytelling, intention, and purpose. Whether it be writing my memoir, The Arts Between Us, whether that be writing op-eds for New York Times, The Guardian, speaking at universities, corporations, summits, doing work on the ground with nonprofit organizations such as GLAAD, the Trevor Project, NAACP, the list goes on. Whether it be helping the NFL to be the inclusive partner that they say they want to be. It's all about storytelling. It's all about intention. It's all about purpose for me. So, I might wear a lot of hats. I might have a lot of titles. The Instagram bio is thick. But at the heart of everything I do, those are my three pillars. And I've been blessed and fortunate to receive so many gifts and rewards and presents, not just in the form of compensation, but in the form of meeting people like everyone on this call today, in the form of being able to live my dreams out. When a lot of people don't get their first dream, and I'm on my second, third, fourth, fifth. So, I've lived a fortunate life. I want to encourage people that fear, that barrier that's holding you back. Your true success and joy is right on the other end of that. So as soon as you smash through that, because most of it is things that you can overcome, we all can overcome, that is where your true happiness, success, joy, purpose, peace lies.
Interview over. Thanks, Russ, for joining.
Yeah, peace. Mike, drop. We covered. Yo, so thanks, guys. Yo, I gotta jump real quick, man. Yeah, you said it, shit. Beautiful.
Nah, man. The beautiful thing about that, man, and I mean, from day one when I met you, man, it's like I asked you one question, and it's the same thing with all these dudes on this call, man. And I hear so many things that I'm like, yo, that's me. But one thing that I'm not the canvas that you are. Just is not the canvas that I am. T's not the canvas that Just is. And the beauty about your canvas, bro, it took a moment. You have said, like, I felt alone. I'm standing here with a blank canvas. I know who I am. I know who they think I am. I know who I want to be. And it took you putting your first stroke on that canvas and saying, and coming out and saying, this is who I am. And another stroke on that canvas, I'm not gonna give this up. And another stroke on this canvas, and it's painted this picture to where you can talk, like you said, the beautiful work that you do with GLAAD, the beautiful work that you're doing with the NFL, the beautiful work that you're doing inspiring creatives like us. It's like, man, there's so many different, it's like when we did our Hip Hop 50, man, I said, Tupac can mean 10 different things to 10 different people. Bro, you on your Tupac shit, man. You mean so many different things in so many different sectors. And that's why we love you, bro. That's why we love you, because you can sit here as 4 Black men, but each one of these squares got a different journey, and we love and respect and admire the journey that you're on, brother.
Appreciate that, and vice versa. None of us are where we were 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, we all doing more, doing different, doing at a higher level. So it's a blessing to be on the call, for sure.
Well, bro, what was it like growing up in Dallas, Texas, man? I spent like 5 years in El Paso. Shout out UTEP, Go Miners. But I know what it's like down there in Texas. I know what football means. I know what it's like to be Black in Texas. What was it like for you, bro?
Well, side note, I took a visit to UTEP. It was gorgeous, like the stadium and the mountains, and that was also my reintroduction to the fact that you could drive like 10 plus hours in Texas and still be in Texas. But yeah, it wasn't nothing out there, man. I don't know how you did it.
I'm telling you, bro, when I was there, it was football. And it was like, okay, we're gonna focus on this for 6 months. And when this 6 months is up, I'm out. I'm getting back to Cali. And I can't do another day here. And so it was like, these different seasons. This season, I'm here, I'm sticking it out. But I need this season too. I need to go back, recharge, refresh, tap in with Cali, and get back to my roots.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Dallas, for me, it's hard to speak ill of Dallas. There's a lot of critical views I have on it. I think also those same views are married to how I feel about our country as a whole, how I feel about the South, how I feel about certain institutions that we all are exposed to. You know, the institution of manhood and masculinity, the institution of sport, the institution of whether it be stereotype, prejudice, racism, any type of bigotry that we all are affected by, whether we are people of color or LGBTQ+, or athletes, we're all affected by these things. For Texas, the blessing for me was football. You know, I always I describe Dallas specifically as the 3 Fs. There's faith, family, and football. And that is the holy trinity there. That's what I experienced. And I truly believe, regardless of my frame, I don't think I would have played football had I not gone to Texas. And football has changed my life. So I'll forever love Texas for that. I've met amazing people. I got amazing education. There are things on paper that are very great about living in Dallas, Texas. I think the things that I struggle with, the things that impacted me that still continue to impact a lot of young Black LGBTQ+ boys and just Black people in general, people, is the racism. You know, and I think when people hear the R word, it kind of turns off their ears. But what I'm saying is not hate. You know, it's not necessarily attacking someone or using slurs. It is the institutional belief in measurements and pillars and in protocols and laws and you know, this is how it's always been. It's all those things that continue to divide us all as people. You know, continue to affect all of us, specifically people of color, but also people, non-people of color. So, you know, those were struggles. Also just finding who you are in a place that is so married to like a vision of you. Being a football player in Texas is a very specific thing. It paints a very vivid picture. You know, you think like a big country boy, which I was that. But also, you know, just being tough and being this apex man, which is so interesting because at this time I'm 15. You know, nothing about me other than the size of my body is at the level of what it would be for a man. But yeah, it's that, and then people start treating you differently. I'd say that was my biggest thing. I endured a lot of racism. I endured a lot of hate. I was othered. I was ostracized. I grew up with a single mother in Texas. I was alone. And football, for better or for worse, changed everything about that. I was never alone again. People wanted to be my friends. I had teammates, coaches, you know, were actually looking out for me. Whereas before, I was just that Black boy wandering the halls that no one spoke to, that no one really cared to get to know. Football changed that for me. I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get a scholarship from just a year and a half of high school football in Texas to go to Purdue University, which I'd say I served my sentence in Indiana. Just let me get my education and play ball and move on. But no, Texas, it's a place that has so much potential and has so many things to offer all of us. But there are major roadblocks and walls, I think, that are stopping a lot of people from accessing that, whether they know it or not.
Definitely. It's a couple of things you said, but one of them being, I think it's something that, whether it's in Texas or whether it's in whatever city you live in, us Black boys, Black kids, we're cute when we're little. And they love us and they pinch your cheek when you little. For women, it's different. But for Black men, you don't get to determine when you become a man. Once you come a little too strong, somebody gonna look at you, that boy look like he 18. Once you grow your hair a certain way, that boy, now he's a man. And it's a tough thing, bro. It's a tough realization as a Black man to be like, damn, okay, I used to be the cute boy. Now I'm this. I'm the biggest threat to everybody.
Well, that being said, B, we don't have an option. I'm not gonna speak, so I'm not a white man or whatever, white woman. I just know my experience, and I can pretty much say for all 4 of us, our lived experiences, we never had an option. One day, to your point, B, I'm walking down the street, I'm the non-threatening kid. The minute I put on 50 pounds, 25 pounds, grow 3 inches, all of a sudden I'm a threat being followed at the local spot. So I'm sitting there like, yo, and that whole thing, no one teaches us.
I mean, for sure. I mean, even to piggyback off that, that's one of we had a short conversation about even my name. And, you know, my mother named me Ryan. which I don't go by anymore. But she told me early on that one of the reasons was because it is a white passing name. That, I was a young, educated Black boy with a white passing name, and if I ever needed to call anyone, if I ever needed to do a job interview, if I ever needed to get a hold of, the cops or an officer, Ryan would pass as white. And, my mother also had me at 20. She was a young mother, a single mother. She did an amazing job against all of the odds and all of the statistics. But it does break my heart that a young mother knew that in her mind and made that decision, and had to consciously think of something as so precious as naming her first child around safety and around, this ideology that the world, regardless of who I am, will view me a certain type of way.
Shout out Marty. It's crazy, bro. We never talked about that. Same. My mom told me that when I became of age. And I was like, man, I don't like my name, Brian. Why couldn't I get a cool name? She's like, well, I named you that, so it sounds a certain way in job interviews, so you don't get looked a certain way. It's like, bro, what? My mother in California, your mother in Texas, your mother in New York, naming you that. Same thought. That's racism.
I'm right. When you said in the book the whole Rai, and you talked about Rai, and then you said the Ryan, I was like, yo, all four of us on this call have safe names. And I'm sure our parents, some form or fashion, thought about that safety.
Right, we do these things, right? So we come to the realization of this, and we figure out what can we do? Like, what can I do so I'm not viewed like that? Is it sports? Is it acting, rapping? Is it working at the local grocery store where now I'm packing bags and once you get a taste of that, right? Like, damn, I'm a little bit normal. When I ball out, I'm a little bit normal, but it's almost like a transformation, right? I gotta be this character, I gotta transform into this thing, at least between these white lines, so I can do my best and receive the best on the outside. But when you do that, right, you need a home base. And is it safe to say, like, writing became that place where I could, like, kind of be me a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And even to talk about, how it was phrased to me, and really another lesson from my mom, a hard lesson of the world, is that it wasn't even just like, yes, to be treated normal, but you had to be excellent. You know what I mean? Like, I had to be exceptional to be treated fairly. And fortunately enough for me, I had talents, and I had abilities, and I was good in school, and I was good in football, but I was doing so much just to get the same treatment as everyone else. And writing for me was a place where those things, those boundaries, those prejudices, those thoughts didn't exist. You know what I mean? There was zero judgment, because I also did it very personally for me. But I didn't have to write as a Black man if I didn't want to. I didn't have to write as, from any type of angle or perspective of athlete. I could be emotional if I wanted to be. I could be vulnerable. I could be soft. I could also lean into all the things that are affecting me in terms of my identity and the intersectionality of that. But writing, to me, was a safe place to make mistakes and to be vulnerable and to express. And I never, football was my talent. Football was my gift and my outward-facing persona. I didn't even see writing in that same way. I literally thought as a kid, I was like, everybody must do this. Like, how else do you be a human being? I was like, everyone must have some form of this. I talk about being raised by a single mom. My stepfather, who was helping raise me up to the age I was 6, passed away in a motorcycle accident. I remember not understanding at that young age what loss was. I knew that there was sadness there, but not understanding what grief is. Grief and sadness are two very different things. Sadness kind of comes and goes, and there's waves where grief is a constant companion that we cannot erase, but we learn to live with and we learn to honor. But not knowing all that, the first thing I did was I wrote a letter to God as a young 6-7-year-old boy, asking all these questions. Why is this happening? What do I do? What does this mean about me? Also, the fatal flaws of being young is everything has to do with you in your mind, for better or for worse. So it was very much like, why me? But even just having that moment to be able to put that out there and put that into the universe did make me feel just more connected to to myself and to the world around me, and into my feelings and my emotions, and who I was outside of how people saw me or what I did.
All these things make up an individual, right? The tough part, any individual, any gender, any race, any color, any creed, any orientation, it's on you to dive deep into you to figure it out. I'm just keep it a buck. A lot of times in life, there's people that make it, live the whole journey and never take that moment to understand. But I feel like this dark space, this scary space, on the other side of that is just like the movie, right? You find a little light and you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you finally break through, and now it's all light. You're in a paradise. And I think like that paradise is knowing who you are. No matter what, no one can tell me who I am. I did the dirty work. I did the groundwork. I unpacked all this stuff. There's no way you could put on me that could be heavier than holding on to all that stuff that I used to hold on to. And that's why I feel free now. I gotta ask it. You look at 3 out of 4 of us, we grew our hair. All for different reasons. But I don't know if I ever talked to you about this, but when did the decision come to grow your hair out, to get your dreads?
There was a few things that happened, I think, in this time. My family's Jamaican, so I've always been introduced to natural hair, to dreads, to locks from a young age. But once again, regardless of the family that I love and that I trusted, there was so much external connotation with hair. I was especially in Texas. It's like they don't understand braids, let alone locks, let alone anything else. I'm getting haircuts in Texas, feeling fresh, and the white people telling me they don't see the difference. I'm like, what you mean? I got this fade, I got this taper. Like, what you talking about?
It looks the same. You look great, brother.
I'm like, come on. So, I had all that in my mind, but it wasn't until especially being in the NFL and having that career and seeing successful young black men take onus of who they are, outside of just having the helmet, be able to take it off and have, any hairstyle, have tattoos. It was kind of like I no longer needed the safety blanket of a white standard to fit in, on the off chance that I needed an office job. I wanted to have the clean cut and the clean shave and no tats and no piercings. And, I didn't need that anymore. I was him at that point. I was like, do what I have to do. Simultaneously, and more on the corny side, Black Panther came out, and I just liked the looks. I liked all the looks. I liked all the hair. I liked all the styles. I liked the whole movie. So I was like, I'm gonna do something like that. I'm gonna kill my grid up. And with all these combined things, that's what led to this. And it's been 4 or 5 years now, and I can imagine not having my locks.
Damn, that's beautiful. T, how long you had your joints?
I just remember I got my last haircut December 2015.
Wow.
So yeah, but you don't really get, you gotta grow it out for a while, but it takes a while. But yeah, for me, it was like a little bit of both. For me, transformation and a little bit of commitment, right? So this was the second time I even tried getting dressed. The first time I couldn't get past the awkward stage and I bailed, right? And after I cut them, it was a lot of regret going on. And it was almost like, all right, the second time I'm going all the way in, and I'm not, I'm gonna get through that awkward stage and blaze through it. And I feel you, Russ, like now it's like, I can't imagine. I had dreams sometimes where I'll cut my hair and I'll wake up and like, all right, I'm good type shit. You know what I mean? Like it's part of my identity now. You know what I mean? And it's symbolic to me too, about growth and commitment. And so, yeah, there was, people in my family, grandmas grew up in the South her whole life, to where it's like, are you going to be able to, get interviews? Are people going to look at you different? Like that kind of thing for sure. Luckily, I'm in the media world and over here on the West Coast, so I'm a little bit of a safe haven from that perspective. And some people have even told me being a creative, it almost adds to it rather than detracts from it for me. So it's an interesting journey for sure. And you see somebody else with locks and everybody has their own lock journey. So it's almost like an untold, like
relationship and bond you have with those people. So it's definitely some struggles, and I feel you with I'll go get a lineup and people are like, oh, you're going to get, I'll tell people, white people especially, I'm going to get a haircut. You cutting your dreads off? Like, no, I'm getting a lineup. I got to get, so it's a whole different world for them. So I feel you on the whole, like, you know, haircut and not even noticing the difference. So, but yeah, like you said, I couldn't imagine having cut off or anything like that. I'm trying to get to 10 years, like you said, B. You gave me a couple years, but I may go through 10 years and get to 20. Who knows?
That's awesome, man. And it's something that you just had, and B, you said it earlier about growth. And I would be amiss not to say this, that a journey, growth, healing, maturing are not things that happen to us. Aging is something that happens to us. Growth, healing, all this are things that we do, constant moves that we make, hills that we climb. This is a conscious endeavor that we're all partaking in. And I think that's a big misconception for a lot of people. This isn't just gonna happen for you. you gotta go make it happen. And it's the same with anything I do, with my hair, with my books, with my relationships, my friendships. They're not just gonna happen to me. I gotta be an active partner in making these things happen.
That's something that I'm learning now too, especially with relationships and careers. It's something that I've noticed, when we're kids, school, your parents got chores for you, everything, your life is so regimented and you have a set path, right? But then when you get out of high school, you get out of college, now you got the whole world open and it's like, okay, what do I work on? What do I develop? What do I grow? And so that's a really good point, because that's something that for my early 20s and maybe even creeping into 30, I didn't realize that I have to develop these. I have to be the one that's giving myself these tasks and these areas to get better in. You know what I mean? So it's something that I feel like I definitely am still working on, and just trying to really be an active player in my growth instead of, relying on the things that we used to when we were kids.
It's the same in sports too, right? It's like, coaches and everyone always encourage you to do extra, because if you're doing the same drills that everybody doing around the country, the same practices, the same weight program, you're not going to really grow to the level you want to. It's all the work that you put in extra after that that makes the difference. I had the blessing and fortunes to see Jason Witten when I was with the Dallas Cowboys, to see Gerald McCoy when I was with the Bucks, to have legends come back and visit, especially my position, Charles Haley, DeMarcus Ware, Warren Sapp, these guys who preached the extra, who preached taking that additional step, 5 steps, 10 steps, who really, were committed to their growth. More than they were committed to anything. Same mentality I use even now in my life. Less intensity. I'm not in Zoom meetings like rah and smacking shit, but it's important to me. And I want everyone, when they leave my presence, to feel that. That's one of the biggest compliments they got. People like you, people love you, respect is huge. But in this space and in my career, I want people to be like, I felt your passion. I felt, how much you care about this. Because that's not something everyone either exercises. I'll say most people have it, but not everyone exercises that. Not everyone takes ownership of it.
What I have to say, and I appreciate, brother, the whole thing about you coming out and being open about it, that was extra. That's how I look at it. You feel me? Because you could have easily been like, you know what? I'm good. I got this. I got the, Tampa Bay. I got that money a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. I'm good. But you took the extra on. And here's the extra part. You say to yourself, I could have easily disappointed myself, but make everybody else happy. Instead, you went with the extra shit. My man, salute to you, man. Real talk. And I know we're talking about extra and doing more. It says a lot about you, man. Real shit. Just had to say that.
I appreciate that. It's a testimony, right? My life is a testimony. I think before I viewed that as sacrifice, I viewed that as expectation. I view that as accolades and these things. But my testimony is that at the end of the day, I was me. I was true to me. I was honest to me. And whether you met me for a season, whether you had me for a moment, whether I was a teammate, a brother, a friend, you got the real me. I gave you genuine, authentic Russ from the soul. You know what I mean? And that is where the gift is, because it's a two-way street in anything. For me specifically, about being secretive about my sexuality, my identity, it not only blocked me off from the world, which was my focus most of the book, but it blocked people off from getting to know the real me, from experiencing the light that God or the higher power or whatever you believe in, the light that we all have. It stopped that from shining on the other people in my life. I wasn't doing my mom no service by not letting her know me this way. I thought I was, but that wasn't my testimony. My testimony is my truth and my authentic self and my soul, and allowing that to be a light for other people, and allowing myself to just be appreciated and to be loved and to be cared for. That's the biggest thing for me.
I'm over here. Like, if these niggas gonna let me talk about my journey. but yeah, I'm gonna get my hair done again.
Oh yeah,
That's stupid.
Just that's good, Just. But I hear you, Russ. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When these niggas go, no, but the way it always worked with us, it naturally came back to that, right? We here in the essential seasons, right? That's what we talking about. Growth is an essential that we all aligned on immediately. Authenticity, we touched on a little bit early on. With a cute little boy, all of a sudden, damn, okay, I'm an adult now, I'm only 12, 13. Okay, let me be less threatening. Let me be nicer. Let me go overly nice with this. Let me have my hands at my side. We lose a little bit of our authenticity every time we mold, every time we shape, right? We clay. Every time we put water and try to be something else. Black men as adults of any gender, race, orientation, there's a point of you're either going to have this fire to want to get back to be your authentic self, or you'll be so far in this area of I've molded and shaped myself into something like, damn, I don't even know who I am. Let me just stick with this shit. And naturally for me, that's what my hair was about. Like, I grew my dreads in college, legal situation over there where I was like, look, it's me against the world. I'm gonna be me. I came into the real world and I just reverted back to this thing that we talked about. Let me be non-threatening. Let me be approachable. Let me be acceptable. Let me be someone that can get a fair shot at what it is I'm trying to do professionally. And I roll with that joint for the better part of, a decade. And, been able to do some things, amazing things. But there was always something. And it started peeking its head. I was reading this book called The Energy Codes. Shout out to Dr. Sue Morton. She said, the goal for any of us in life should be to not be human beings having an experience on earth, but to allow our soulful self to be reflected on our human body and having a soulful experience, an energy experience on this earth. I want to be clear. Russ still an NFL free agent. Shout out to, Carl Nassib and the retirement. Russ still an NFL free agent. But I want to talk about this moment where you stepped out 1, 2, as your own and said, this is who I am. I'm an openly bisexual NFL player and I've still got that juice and I still can do my thing. And it got quiet. Okay. Well, I still got my partner, Corey. Shout out, Corey. I'm gonna live and be me. And I'm gonna get my voice out and I'm gonna get my words out. And you kept stepping and you kept walking. And look who coming back around. Yo, hey, Russ, we trying to do the EE. We'd love for you to help us out with the NFL. And I'm just like, bro, that hits my heart and soul. And I'm going to come back around. You're going to see me again. You're going to need me. And I think it's beautiful that you said it. And I'll do it. You didn't hold no grudge. And I said, I'll do it because this is who I am. Can you talk about, just all the work you're doing with the NFL and what that feels like, right? You step out on purpose. You come back around and allow me to reintroduce myself in the NFL. This is who I am. What's that like now?
No, it's truly fulfilling work that I'm doing. There are, whether we're talking sport and purely scheme, whether you're Trey Lance, Dak Prescott, Colin Kaepernick, R.K. Russell, sometimes you get to a situation that's not ready for you. Sometimes the organization, the team, the family, the job isn't ready for you. They don't know what to do with you. There's so much there and they understand that for whatever it be, their lack of vision or their lack of understanding or their own fears. They are not ready to amplify you and allow you to shine in the light that you were given and that you step into in your soul. So for me in the NFL, it was no hard feelings of, I didn't feel iced out. I didn't feel blackballed. We talk about it, and I'll never know. I wasn't in the rooms. I couldn't hear the conversations. But to me, the response was more, we don't know. It was more, we're not sure.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to make sure that in the future, they will be ready. In the future, they will continue to prepare. We talk about, especially in the realm of LGBTQ plus male athletes. I say male specifically because female athletes are doing a great job at being inclusive and diverse and uplifting all of their players.
Shout out to the female athletes.
Seriously, the WNBA,
for sure.
The National Women's Soccer League, all of these leagues are doing exceptional work. When it comes to the NFL, I just want to make sure that, to be the first bisexual NFL player to come out sounds good. It's a cool headline for media, but what I hear, especially now being 4 years away from it, is lonely. It sounds lonely. It sounds isolating. And not for me, because I stepped into my truth and I know what I bring to every room and every situation, every job, but for the hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of male athletes I know that are not at that point, that are not able to come out and speak the truth. The reason I'm only is not because I'm brave or because I am this exceptional person. The reason I'm only because we are grown up and we are all a part of a system that eradicates, silences, and represses those like me and uses sport to do it as well. So when the NFL called and continue to call, it's a great spot to be in because it's also in a place of collaboration. At this point, I'm not under any signed contracts. I don't have to bite my tongue. All the pieces that I write and the voice that I speak come from me and me first and foremost. And when they step into what is now essentially my office and want to collaborate with me, it is a partnership. I will not allow anyone, the NFL being included, to use my face and my trademark and my brand without also valuing my voice and my power and my intention. That to me is the definition of tokenism. When you shine, when you show me off and use my name and my label and my brand, but don't amplify my voice. And I will not be a part of that. And they've been super understanding about that. It's cool to also challenge a league that's giving me so much to say, you're doing great, but I need more. As every coach has said to me, as every NFL team, that's the nature of sports. Yeah, it's great today, but we're going to do more tomorrow, or we're going to do it again. You make one three-pointer in basketball, the game not over. we got to keep going.
Right.
So it's a cool spot. And I will say, I see the league growing. I see them, at the very least, making moves. I think Black Lives Matter also having my coming out be right before, the George Floyd murder in the Black Lives Matter movement showed everybody that silence is also not an answer, that there is no fence to sit upon. You know what I mean? That you are either in the business of helping save lives and empowering people and uplifting people, or you are in the business of keeping those voices silent, whether it be through action or complicity. So the NFL understands that as well now. We're continuing to remind them. And it's an organization that doesn't know its own power when it comes to things as such as social impact. But there is so much for us to be there. Like I said, sports needs to be the change agent in our society, not a microcosm of it. And I continue to make sure that is happening.
I'm no different than anybody, and I'm not doing anything different than anybody else can do. I have a blessing. God gave me a blessing to not only be able to express it the way I do, but He gave me the opportunity to do it. But that doesn't mean that there are other kids out there who can't do it just like me, if not better. I think that's what we keep in mind. We're real simple. Simple things in life keeps us going. Pasta, good movies. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I've learned, and I think that we all are coming to understand, is if the big things come, cool. But as long as I get the simple things, as long as I got a little time to go wander the world and dream, walk next to the water, be in nature, try new food, this has become one of those little things, right? Being able to chop it up with my people, being able to
let my people meet my people like we are today, being able to, define and figure out and continue to explore who I am. But just finding the little things, being curious, being creative, being authentic. Those are the simple things, man. And we find those in different ways. What are some of the ways that you find those outlets, fellas?
I think for me, nature is a big part of it. It's one of the things that drew me to LA specifically. I didn't move here with a team. I didn't move here, with any aspects of job or career. I really moved here because I fell in love with the place. The hiking, the mountains, the different terrain, the ocean. My family being Jamaican, I've naturally always been drawn to ocean and beaches. And to me, being in nature and being away from, I think the outside voices, whether they come through technology or social media or other people, and to really just be with the world, to me is very important. It helps me to stay humble. It reminds me of how small I am in the vast universe, but it doesn't make me feel alone. It makes me feel welcome to know that I came from the same earth that the trees came from. I came from the same power and the force that the ocean crashes against the shore with. I can reach the same heights as mountains because we all come from the same place. It's something that to me is very grounding and humbling. I need it sometimes. Sometimes my head gets a little big, as everyone's can. And I need to be humbled in that way, but also, it makes me grateful. It makes me grateful to be alive, regardless of whether I, won the game that week, whether I'm a best-selling author, whether my partner at that time thinks I'm the greatest or the worst, for whatever reason. It allows me to be grateful to experience life. You said something earlier, Brian, about, our bodies in this vessel and being able to live a spiritual being through it all. And for me, I think that's something that nature teaches me, that I am not this body. It does represent the things that I care about. It does represent the parts of my soul that I want to share and that I want to express and that are innate with me. But it is not me, beyond beauty standards or expectations or racism. I am not this. I am the ocean. I am the mountains. I am the waves. I am the breeze and the gusts and the tornadoes and the hurricanes and the sun and the moon and the raindrops. So nature for me is one of those things.
What I'm starting to notice is that quality time is huge. As we get older and more successful, those moments become even more elusive with, your mom or, homeboys you grew up with. I got a nephew now who's like, I'm trying to be in his life as much as possible. And those moments, right? Like when I was a teenager, just sitting at the house, watching a movie with my parents and my family was kind of like boring, low key. You know what I mean? I want to be out. I want to be at a party. I want to be doing this. And now it's like, if I go home for a weekend and get to hang out with the same people for, even 8 hours, it's almost, very rewarding. So that kind of stuff for me, it doesn't gotta be we're going to Hawaii as a family. It doesn't gotta be we're going, out to a really nice dinner at the house. It could be mom making her nachos or her, whatever. And the same things we was doing when I was coming up. So I've started to realize that those kind of moments, it's crazy how they transform. And they, stuff that used to be just kind of mundane is now very, very cherished for me. So that's one of the things right now that I'm really starting to notice. It's a small thing, but it has a huge impact for me.
Well said, fellas. To me, it's like I always go back to this quote, dilated peoples, that famous line, when worst comes to worst, my people come first. And it's like, through my life, man, it's been peaks and valleys, as we talk about mountaintops and climbing and the ocean. It's like peaks and valleys of what I've been through from being on my quote-unquote deathbed. It's the simplicity. I mean, Lauren hit the nail on the head. And, Lauren saying that is that we all know through either social media or how it was put out there, what she went through. She reverted back to simplicity. And all the things that I've been through, I can literally say, when worst came to worst, my people came first. It's this community I have here with the podcast. It's my friends and family. It's the simple things, as T pointed out. I mean, brother, you hit the nail on the head when it came to like just nachos. Like mom just making something real simple. It could be peanut butter and jelly, right? But the fact that mom made it and it reverted you back to when you were 10. It's stuff that you think so grandiose. When you get older, you want all these big and finer things. It's nice because you worked hard for it. The small things. So any chance I get from just sitting out on our back deck here and just being enveloped by nature, drawing, I'm an artist, so I do all that stuff. Going for a walk, you know, I have no problem saying it, but I have a creative consultant and I also have a therapist. And they always bring it back to simplicity. It's wild, because you think to yourself, oh, I need to sit down and bang out a script. I need to do this and to edit. And also I go for a walk, I'm a better person from that walk.
There's one quote from Muhammad Ali. He said, if the man at 50 is doing the same thing he did at 30, he wasted 20 years, right? I was like, what do you mean by that? And for me, I think it is like, if you're not taking chances, curious chances, trying new things, you should see the world bigger. You should see the world different each year, each day. And I saw, real talk, I saw a monarch butterfly, the black and orange one with the white spots, and it landed on my window. It was a couple of days ago, and I looked at that joint. I'm like, yo, I've never seen one of these joints.
Crazy.
It's like, what does this mean? And so I look it up, and it signifies good fortune and you know, all this. Don't quote me, look it up for yourself. I love that quote, but it also is a great reminder. The simple things. I'm here to experience. I'm here to give energy. I'm here to inspire. And whether that's through playing some Italian music, while I'm cooking my spaghetti and being like, let me put this and that and this. I'm feeling, I'm experiencing. I may have just made the best, tagliatelle I've ever made, but it was just all feeling and living and breathing. And I think that's what, and loving, man. Finding love in what you do, finding joy in what you do. I think that's what we're here to do. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Russ, we're gonna get to our best version, Hunger for More. Us, the Ford fam, our listeners, we're gonna be traveling, we're gonna be eating, and we're gonna be experiencing this earth, and that's the best version of this. So all y'all that's tapping in with us now, we appreciate you, and we can't wait to take this and turn it into that journey. And we're gonna have our boy Russ with us too. But it all goes down to the simple things, man. For real.
A, avoid negative sources, people, places, things, and bad habits. B, believe in yourself. C, consider things from every angle. D, don't give up and don't give in. Don't let a damn thing get you down. E, enjoy life today. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow never comes. F, family and friends are hidden treasures. Talk to them and enjoy their riches. G, give more than you plan to give each day. H, hang on to your dream. I, ignore the bullshit. J, just do it. K, keep on trying no matter how hard it may seem, it will get easier. L, love yourself first and most, love God always. M, make it happen. N, never let them see you sweat. O, open your eyes and see everything around you. P, practice make perfect. Q, quitters never win and winners never quit. R, read, learn, study about everything important in your life. S, stop procrastinating. T, take control of your own destiny. U, understand yourself first so that you can better understand others. V, visualize it. W, want it more than anything. X, you already marked your spot in the world. Y, you are unique of all God's grace and no one can replace you. Z, zero in on your target.
The ABCs using something so fundamental in our language and in putting that much wisdom, heart, soul, knowledge into it, seeing these simple things that we all interact with on a day-to-day basis and really giving it this meaning or attaching these meanings and values to it, to me is powerful. You could take something as little as a letter and make it a mantra. When you're doing that, only Lord knows what you can do with all of the other tools, gifts, and abilities, that we all have every day. It was a reminder that just waking up in the morning is enough a blessing of itself. To have the opportunity to continue to be on this earth with these people, with the people that we love, is a blessing, opportunity to grow, to love, to help someone, to impact someone. You talked about also the Muhammad Ali quote. And for me, it's like, I'm trying to learn to love myself better every year. Like, I want to be a master in loving me. And it's going to change because I'm going to go through different trials and tribulations. I'm going to go through different letters of this alphabet. I'm going to need different essential things at different seasons. But I always want to be obsessed with growing and learning and appreciating myself for the time that I'm here, because that's the only way I also be able to do it for the other people in my life. So I love just hearing other people's perspectives and knowledge and wisdom, because it helps me unlock parts of my mind, parts of my life that I can always improve.
I'm gonna use my time to just reiterate something that I thought was fire that Russ said. You can take a letter and make it a mantra. That's crazy. He just came up with that on the fly. And that encapsulates that video to a T for me. You can take a letter and make it a mantra. That's just crazy. I said it again the second time because I really like that. And it doesn't need to be much said other than that. There was good on the brother on the street that was doing that. You know, it's something that I feel like we could watch countless times and get countless messages from. But yeah, you can take a letter and make it a mantra. That's dope.
Truly, words are spells. I'm speaking with the power of my tongue into existence. I'm bringing this into this world. And I always used to look, I'd be like, what does this mean? Grateful. What is full? Like, it's a suffix. What is full? Full means a state of being. I'm in a state of being great, or I'm in a state of having gratitude. Be you, T-full, be you to the fullest. And I would just look at this and it reminds what I really, really pulled from this video. I'm like, one, I'm not crazy, because he's doing it too. He's being inspired by these little letters, but it's like, two, like, words have actual meaning. We talk about simple, we talk about breaking it down. Take the time to look at the root. Take the time to look at the core of you, of yourself, of the things around you, of the things you're saying. And it might help you pick a better word. It might help you to wake up in the morning and not say, damn, I don't wanna. Damn, why I gotta. I wish I didn't have to. And maybe you'll pick a better word. Instead of saying, this is dope. Maybe you say, this is magnificent. Maybe just making you pick a better word, simplifying the words that you're saying to say the perfect word or the right word.
When N1 first came out, they were only a t-shirt company. And I remember this one shirt literally said, if you can't make a basket, right, pass. If you can't pass, play defense. If you can't play defense, take a charge. If you can't take a charge, sit on the bench. If you can't sit on the bench. And it came down the list of things, if you can't, then you got something else to do. And then the last part of it, again, paraphrasing, if you can't be a fan, don't love basketball. And this ABCs was like the ABCs of life. It was like, yo, A to Z, if you hear this, there's something in there that can fit you. And if you can't fulfill any of these, then there's something wrong. I mean, point blank, like, you got to figure it out.
Especially when it comes to sport, you can do something. Everyone, the guy that has the most talent on the field or the guy that just loves the game, everyone contributes to this thing. And I think that's how life should be. We all contribute to this society. We all either are going to make it better or we're going to go down with it. And I think that's powerful. And also just words. Words, like you said, man, they're spells. Their prayers, their communication, every pillar, sports, war, relationship, government, school, everything will say communication is a key. That it is across the board. If we cannot communicate with each other, we cannot coexist and we cannot grow together. And, it's proclaim it with your mouth and speak it to the Lord so he might hear you. You know what I mean? Like there is a reason that we pray with words. There's a reason that even if you're into the spells are with words, communication, love, poetry, writing, everything has to do with words. So shout out also, that's why the writer strike's important. Writers are very important. But yeah, it's y'all are hitting all of the I could be on here for hours. This is nuggets everywhere.
We gonna have you back, but you perfect segue. We talk about these words. We talk about the writer strike. Man, what do you think about the situation that's going on right now in our industry?
It's so funny because, it's coming from the view of writers not being essential in this industry, when I really feel like in terms of, even when we talk about something like AI protection or something like residuals or something like, well, what do writers really do? I feel like the only thing an AI would really be equipped to do is what the executives do. I'm like, what y'all really do is not.
Sign that check, send it through.
Yeah, I'm like, that could be the AI position. We could all give y'all large salaries back to us, the working folk. But no, I'm obviously a huge supporter of the Writers Guild of America. I want to be a member one day. And I think that for us all to stay connected to the humanity of this thing is what we're fighting for. To us to be able to eat and put a roof over our heads and use our voice and have right over our word and to be compensated for our experience. Because that's really where we're writing from. From our experiences in our hearts is important to me. I think Hollywood, specifically in entertainment, is a place where the heart and the soul and the humanity is always questioned. And I think this is another example of that question. And, it's the part that makes it beautiful. The greatest athlete is not always the most physically gifted. The greatest story is not always the person with the most writing experience. The best movie every year is not the movie with the biggest budget or the biggest names. It is the heart and the soul that connects with audiences. That's what this whole thing is about. And I think that to protect that, we need to be able to give the YJ what they need, give the actors what they need, give everyone in this business the things that they need to protect the heart and the soul of this thing.
No doubt. And these are people that are rooted in their purpose, man. They got a dream, they got a gift, they got a voice. They got something to say. We gotta let them be able to do what they do at the highest level. Because there's millions that are waiting to be inspired by maybe one word that a writer who's being blocked out is not allowed to say.
Please welcome former NFL player and writer R.K. Russell.
I would like to start by thanking the good folks at the Library of Congress, all of you for being here and for allowing me to be here and share this story. I would also like to thank my mother, who raised me as a single black woman in America, making her a superstar. My partner, who is here with me, Corey O'Brien, who loved me before I even knew what it meant to love myself. My manager, who believes in me even when I feel my talents fall short of the opportunity. My agent and the team Anscape for allowing me to write this book and to share this story with whomever may need it. It is an everyday phenomenon to be invited and to still feel like an outsider. I felt that way being invited here to speak with you all tonight. Though I played arguably one of the toughest sports in America, moments like these are more intimidating to me than any NFL game. To be invited, but to feel like an outsider is a feeling I've come to know as the unwelcoming. I never felt like a stranger when writing in my journals. I always felt as though I belonged when reading books, whether the experience was about someone like me or someone that was different.
You've blessed us in so many ways as being our first guest, so thank you. But one of the many ways that I want to shout out, we got a #1 seller. Amazon, #1 seller. That's like, bro, what did that feel like? I mean, now look, you got the book. We had that. When you saw that #1, bro, what was that like?
I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate to live so many dreams. Writing was something that I thought I would do maybe like a book in terms of like later, like 80s, 1 foot kind of out. I'm just like, I don't care what nobody think of me now. I'm just going to put it all out there. But to be able to write a memoir, or at least to begin writing it at 27 and to finish it, in my 30s, and to share these vignettes of my life have been the scariest, the hardest, and the most rewarding things I've ever done. And to have it reciprocated in a way where, we were the #1 new release on Amazon, we were the #1 bestseller on Amazon. We were featured at, the Library of Congress National Book Festival, to have a press tour in New York for, a week and go on shows like CBS Mornings and be on Amazon Sport and be on radio and Good Morning Football. Hey, we're in Targets across the country, we're in Walmarts across the country, we're in every major bookstore, also small indie bookstores, to be on the National Football League network in multiple facets, to have the backing of the NFL, to be a change maker and a difference maker through the book and through my voice, to continue to be blessed through this book and through sharing something, part of myself that I held in shame and in secret for so long it's such a liberating feeling, man. I am, to the people who have perceptions about what a life like mine may look like, they have no idea the love and the blessing and the anointment that I feel, and in sharing it has been awesome. And for it to be optioned by Sony Pictures in conjunction with Gabrielle Union, to get that into a film, Like, it's just, you know, but my cup really does, it runs over. Like, I feel so, I mean, I'm living a dream. Like, I wake up every day to be able to get on calls like this and talk to y'all and to see my book in the background in people's homes and, you know, to know that I've helped affect people in a positive way. It's a dream. It's a dream come true. I'm not sacrificing anything. I've sacrificed so much in my life. And in the end of the day, the only thing I was really sacrificing was my own happiness, and I'm not doing it. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, you know, I want to come out. The first thing he said, which, whether it be the first relationship I was in with a guy or people that I told along the way or friends, he said something no one else ever said right off the jump. I got your back, I got your back, I got your back. 4 years ago, I wasn't willing to share most of my life with the world. You know, now I find power in my truth and power in sharing, and I've hopefully encouraged others to do the same. I know that I see it when I go meet people. I know that I see it when I'm able to commune and to communicate and to talk to people. I know I see it in my life here. And the craziest thing is just, Tyler, you spoke about it kind of earlier, having nephews. Like, I have a nephew now that's turning 5. I have another nephew that just turned 3. And to have them see me and know this version of me, and to see how happy I am and how much love I have and how, you know, how comfortable I am with myself, to know that they get to meet me now and for me to be as present in life as I can is a blessing. I feel like I'm finally here. Like they say, you start living life, you know, coming out, your life kind of starts over. It really does. I feel reborn. And this has been the best part of my life.
It's been an inspiration to us all. The Yards Between Us, a memoir of life, love, and football by R.K. Russell. It's an inspiration to us, this podcast, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, you know, like being able to step out and be your true self. Like, that's what we all about, to be inspired by others around you. This is what we all about, and we really appreciate it. I remember seeing that young fellow with the cutoff shirt. Said, is this a little too much? It says revolutionary. I said, man, that's just perfect. And bro, I be trying not to cry, man. Remember we sat up in them Emmys? And what shirt was up there on the big screen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Revolutionary, for sure.
And to hear the guy that was a little nervous and I ain't never done this. And, bro, I'm just proud to be part of this journey and be proud to have you here.
Anyone that sees me really sees me. Anyone that loves me really loves me. And that's what's important to me now. And I think that's what makes people so powerful. People that are genuinely themselves are the most powerful people. The funny thing about being relentless, or being free, or being revolutionary, they all have a very simple truth, and that is to be genuinely you and to make that unstoppable.
To all the viewers out there, to the 4 fam out there listening, this is something new that we're doing with our inaugural guest, #1 selling author, activist, athlete, and our brother, R.K. Russell. It's called Before You Go. It's our little rapid fire question round. Just for us to get a few questions that we didn't get off, because you know we like to talk. We like to talk our shit. But this is time for us to talk his. So here we go. What was the moment when you thought, okay, I'm kind of famous?
First time it probably ever happened, actually, I was drafted by Dallas Cowboys, had to call with Jerry Jones. You know, all that, it was kind of sinking in. But my first day in the Cowboys facility, I was just really getting on my Instagram trying to get it. The publicist, PR person comes in, he's like, oh, hey, what's your Instagram? You want to get verified? I'm like, yeah, sure, verify me. I did not kid you. Within 30 minutes, I logged back on Instagram, I have a blue check. So that's just a millennial in me. I was like, hey, I'm here now.
Describe your craziest celebrity encounter.
Oh, shoot. Craziest. I went to a party. I went to Diana Ross's birthday party a few years ago here in LA with some members of the Kardashians. We were at a table with Kris Jenner, Khloe Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, and French Montana was there. Tiana Taylor came later. Beyonce came in and did a surprise happy birthday to Diana Ross. We then later went to a concert that she was doing here in LA, and we were on stage, and I have a video of me on stage with Diana Ross. So that one.
For the 75th a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so we at the 80th? Okay, we go. Okay. You said a couple years, I'm at 80th coming up. We in there. Tell me about a celebrity you met and they knew you and you were kind of like, hold up, this is...
Shoot, since coming out, I've had so many of those experiences, actually, which is very fortunate. Billie Jean King reached out to me personally. I thought that was a huge moment because not just a legend in the sports world, but just like an icon in pop culture, in our society, just in general. To have her meet me and know me was awesome. Gayle King, for when I went to CBS Mornings, to have her speak to me about my book. And, you can tell people read the book. Like, I appreciate all, everyone trying to uplift my story and get my book out there, but you can tell when someone read it.
What's your turn-up song?
Man, that's crazy. There's so many songs. I think for me, it's more about artists. Just Wanna Rock. Lil Uzi right now is hyping me up. Anything Kendrick with Beat is hyping me up. J. Cole always gets to me. People who come from real hardship and real struggle and real experience and still very much keep that at the root of what they do, even though they are successful, even though they are, the exceptions to a lot of the stereotypes and a lot of the oppression, the obstacles that they faced.
Favorite place you want to travel to or favorite place you have traveled to?
Favorite place I want to travel to is Paris. I speak very often about my love of James Baldwin, and to me, Paris is a place where I get to tap into some of that energy. There's also, I think, a literature and a history and a almost a romantic, loving energy that I get from the city that I would love to tap into. And I will give a shout out. Most recent favorite places is New York City has become one of my favorite places to visit. And when you read my book, The Art of Experience, you'll know that was not the case.
Definitely.
I think it's about meeting great people in the city and also rewriting some of those experiences and allowing myself to be in the places that God and that the universe and that love is calling me to be in. New York City has been one of those places.
I knew we got to when we walked that Brooklyn Bridge. I said, we turned him. He's coming to New York. Okay. What's your favorite type of food?
This is one, if I'm on a game show with Corey, with my mom, with anyone who isn't, we're all gonna get this. Breakfast food is my favorite type of food because low-key, there are no rules to breakfast food. You can add anything and throw eggs on the side and it's breakfast food. Like where you get breakfast tacos, breakfast burritos. You could get a continental. You can have cold breakfast, hot breakfast.
We all breakfast boys. I think we all breakfast boys here.
I'm in. Yes.
I'm down. We need t-shirts.
A new
I need merch.
breakfast real. That's crazy.
The Breakfast Club.
Come on. Favorite shoe or sneaker? Go.
Honestly, and this has no rhyme or reason, I'm foam posited to my head. Like I
talk your shit.
I got pretty much every colorway except for I'm still trying to get a thermal pair, and I'm still trying to get the meteorologist, like the Geo pair.
The Geo.
Yeah, but I got pretty much everything else. It was the first shoe when my foot stopped growing that I found that fit me. So I wear size 15. I was growing literally when I was 10, I wore a 10. When I was 11, I wore 11. When I was 12, I wore 12. Like it went like that. So when I finally got settled on 15 and I got that cowboy money, the foams were the first shoe that I found in my size just at like a mall. And then I've just been obsessed ever since.
Hold up, bonus content real quick. Find it free. We're walking on the beach. It's you and Corey. I'm like, yo, we had just raced to get here. We had to beat the traffic, get to Sunset. There was if you notice, if you've been in California, Venice Beach, there's a lifeguard stand painted in the pride flag. I'm like, I gotta get this. I saw it in my head late at night. We need to go here. We get there. I'm like, all right, audio man, run with him. Corey, Russ, go. Russ start walking, and I see him walking in the sand in the red foams. I said, yo. Take your shoes off, bro. I was like, take your shoes off. Keep rolling. Just take the shoes off.
I'm trying to get this
I was
shot.
like, not the foams.
If you were on the game show, our favorite game show, which one would you choose to be on? You could go on any of them.
I think Family Feud. I think I would kill that. One, if it was my actual family, I feel really good about my team. You know, I'm a team sport guy. I feel really good about my moms. I feel good about Corey, my brother. But also, regardless of what my life looks like on social media or the accolades I have, I stay grounded and connected to the people. We watch the Family Feud. I'm like, 100 people not saying what you saying. 100 people not saying that.
Yeah.
You know, people be saying these outlandish things. I'm like, 100 regular people not saying that.
Good answer.
Yeah. And I ain't getting roasted by Steve. I ain't getting roasted by Steve.
Yeah, no.
People be letting
man.
go in. I'm like, bro, like you just
hell no. Steve, we be boys. We be boys.
Steve the show.
This is a good one to stop on. You always welcome back, bro. We got a permanent spot for you. We appreciate you rocking with us. We appreciate you loving us because we love you. You always got a spot here from now till forever. And you know, with that said, something new we doing. What's your ambition to elevate quote? Something you want to lead the people with to give them some inspiration.
It's funny because we talked a little bit before the call, and I was trying to think of mantras, and you know, I have a lot of sound bites and moments and things and inspiration, but the thing that plays in my head and that's been instilled in me in my earliest memories is actually not my words or my mantra. It's actually that of my mom's. My mother told me before football, before writing, before, you know, whatever this life is I made now, when I was a little boy just trying to figure out who I was, she would always tell me that she was a mother of a champion. It was something that she had already proclaimed for me as the higher power has proclaimed for me, as that has been laid out for me before I knew my name and before the earth knew me. It is a path that's already been laid out for me. For my mother to tell me that at a young age, to continue to say that to me all the time. The slogans are great. I get hyped just like everybody else does from different things, but to have that solace and that peace in who you are and to know that your path has already been laid for you, and that your successes and that your anointment is not contingent on anything other than your soul and the intent of your heart, I think is something that keeps me sane in the day-to-day life.
My last song, the one song that ended, but send us 5 for the playlist and we'll put those on there too.
Perfect. Okay, well that makes it a little easier. I would say for me, the song that I have been playing recently a lot that's been relevant in my life, I've been getting in touch back with my spirituality. I have a cross behind my ear, and you know, I'm not specifically devout to any specific organized religion, just because of the trials of my life that I detail in the book. But spirituality in my soul and my heart, and the hereafter, those that were with me in this earth and that are no longer with me here in this earth, those are all very still important things to me, and I feel important to connect with them. So I've been listening to Godspeed by Frank Ocean because it is a song about, for me, knowing that where you came from before you came on this earth and where you will go after. And in that, though this is a beautiful life I've created, this is a visit. You know what I mean? This is not my residence. This is not my destination. This is my life, and my soul is not meant to be here forever. And that's perfectly fine. It's about knowing and staying true to who you are as a person. So here it is, Godspeed by Frank Ocean.
Just a sweet word. The table is prepared for you. Wishing you Godspeed, glory. There will be mountains you won't move. claim all